So here we are, people, for the fairies weird world, and today we're going to see some of our favorite and iconic websites of the 90s, which some of them are still existing, and we're going to search them and find out which of them exists and which not. So let's do this. This is Alta Vista. This is captured from 1996, and this is one of the first search engines way back from Google. And if we could search the web or the Usenet and search. Let's do an actual search. Let's search about fairy. Is it going to search? I'm not sure. Nope. But it was working back then. It was working, and it looked like this. This one here is the Pathfinder, another search engine just like the Alta Vista. And I personally remember this Pathfinder because I was using it so often. All these banners were with these buttons and all this stuff. I think it's so annoying today, but back then these kind of websites were one of the best. So we have another search engine. I don't know if you remember this, but this was Lycos. This is from 1999, and it was the most popular search engine because too many people was using it. And remember, at these days, Google did not exist. So we had Lycos, we had Yahoo, we had Alta Vista, we had Pathfinder, and all of this great stuff there. So is it working? I'm not sure that it works right now. But Lycos is one of the websites that still exists. And I'm not sure Lycos, what Lycos looks like. Oh, whoa! With an actual dog, fairies. There were no results? Seriously? But it still existed. Anyway, so this one was Lycos, and let me do this rewind for the ultra favorite #1 search engine in the world. Hey Google!
Hey Google!
This is from 1998. The Google beta actually looked exactly like this. You could search. 1 year later, we have boom, this one. And as we move on by the years, we had more lighter phone, and it's getting better and better and better and better. And this one was Google. Let's move. Who of you remember of Napster? Awesome. I loved Napster, and I was so sad when this thing closed. And I want to search now Napster.com and see if it still exists.
Oh,
seriously? It exists? It really exists. Napster right now. I didn't know about this. This is a shock. And is it going to be like I'm not sure if it's going to be like Spotify, but Napster still exists. Yay! I don't know if you remember this. Kazaa was somehow like Napster. I used it. I didn't love it as Napster. And back then, I remember also LimeWire. Yes, it was LimeWire with a lime on the logo. But in the middle of Napster and LimeWire was Kazaa here. Let me see if this still exists. Nope, I don't think we're going to get something out of Kazaa. This was our music. This was our non-YouTube experience. And here's one of my favorite websites back then. It's not actually 90s thingy. It's MySpace. It's MySpace, dude. I had a MySpace page, and actually this one was one of my favorite, and still is one of my favorite social media platforms, because in MySpace, well, this this was this is not me. This is not me, obviously. I have to make some things clear. So this was how a profile looked like on MySpace back then, and you might find it a bit busy today, but if you can see here, we made all of these things by ourselves, and we made up our nicknames. We choose here this part, the message me, add me, follow, and all of this stuff. Our background, we basically we're creating our websites, our profiles, but we did it alone and had all of this interface, all of these playful thingies, and it was helping us to express ourselves. And this one was my favorite, and I got so sad and frustrated when people transformed from all of this thing of MySpace to Facebook. I was so mad, and I was just saying, we could create our own websites there and put some HTML code, put some pictures, put some fun stuff, put some music, put some whatever the hell we were thinking, we could put it in our MySpace page. And all of the people all of a sudden went to Facebook someday, and I was like, what the fuck, you people? Are you going to go to this blank white and blue site with nothing, with totally nothing in it? That was crazy. So this one was MySpace, and let's check about MySpace today, myspace.com, and let's see how it looks right now. So this is MySpace right now, and it's basically for musicians. Well, it was basically for musicians back then, but now it's much more focused on artists and stuff, because what the hell, Facebook is up there. So this is MySpace. I can't say that I like it, but it's okay. So, and this is Facebook. This can you see this? Can I? Seriously, people? Seriously? You left MySpace for that shit? Seriously? This was the reason I freaked out when people were moving from MySpace to this shit, to this blue and white shit. But anyway, we gotta be social animals. So Facebook back in 2004, then 2005 looked just like this. I didn't have Facebook back then. I don't even know if I had Facebook on 2008. I think 11 was the year I entered Facebook and started thinking, hey, well, nobody's left in MySpace. You gotta go somewhere that there are people actually, and that's why I did a Facebook profile back then. So let's roll. I'm not going to talk about High Five. I know that many of us had High Five back then, but now High Five is such a lame website as it was back then. So I'm not going to do that. If you want to know how High Five is right now, go do it yourself. And this is YouTube. Okay, let me okay, here we go. This here was YouTube. That was YouTube's first website in 2005. This is where it all started. I didn't have a clue what was going to happen with YouTube, and I think their creators didn't have either. And let's see, 1 year later, every website 1 year later is getting better and better and more complex, more with more stuff to show. And And it's a huge transition for YouTube to be like that. You know, today is this, the next year is this, and the next year, 2007, it has too many content, too many viewers. You see these numbers here. Everybody was on YouTube. Virgin YouTube, virgin internet, I would say. We had Netscape Navigator, if you remember what I'm talking about. We had Netscape Navigator, and it was awesome. Explorer, the Internet Explorer, was actually working back then. Yay! So here we go with Amazon 1999. This is how Amazon looked like back then. It was, you see all of this text, so tiny images, and all of this huge text, which if a website looks like this today, nobody is going to read even one word. Nobody, just nobody. But back then, we were reading, and it was like magic. Internet was like magic back then. And after 2 years, Amazon transitioned and looked like this. And I can say that it's pretty good. It's better than the other one. Of course, it looks nothing like the website it is today, but you could see that they were getting somewhere. And here we go for the first ever edition of CNN. And I will leave the comments to you on this, because I don't even know what to say about that. My eyes hurt on this. I'm frustrating. Next. I couldn't even look at it. Good thing is that CNN looks awesome right now, so that one's good. So this is Hotwired, and Hotwired was one of the first web magazines in the world. It was part of the Wired magazine, if you know this. And it was one of the first magazine. It has news, it has tutorials, it has job offers, it has everything. And it had one of the most controversial backgrounds. It has colors, it has something to look at. Actually, there's not wall of text, but you can see the contents and all of this stuff. And it was the first website in the world that it was using banners targeted for each group of audience they had. That one was crazy. Because it was strategically targeted for the audience, all of their banners. And that one was one of my favorite things that happened back then. Well, this is actually for Nintendo 64, but actually this was not an official Nintendo website back then. It was an unofficial website made by IGN. And what I mean IGN, I mean IGN Entertainment back in 1996. This website became IGN64.com. This one you didn't know I was sure about that. Anyway, this is how the website looked like. I don't know if we opened this, you could see all the news about the games, codes, and other stuff that were helpful for Nintendo 64 players. And all of this content was generated by IGN Entertainment. And here we go with the space jump, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you have seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, then go out or just say the movie. Anyway, Space Jam was this website was made in 1996 for the hybrid live action animation movie Space Jam, starring Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. But this website was pure dope, because we haven't seen any of this kind of graphics, kind of colors, and kind of world, and this was magic. They're still having it online for all the fans to have the opportunity to visit it and be nostalgic about it. Look at this, that was awesome. Neat stuff to look at. The coloring book. Let's press. Oh, whoa. Did you see that? And this is the vertical menu. This website was one of the best websites back in the 90s. One of the most controversial websites, one of the most beautiful websites, and congrats to this developer who made this website happen.